Hey guys, Brad the Buff. I got my buff on my head and I am ready to go. Today I wanted to talk to you about a product that I've tested a few times, and that is trekking poles. Specifically, these are the Black Diamond Distance Carbon Z. I got these ones and I picked them out because they were super lightweight, and that's what I wanted to start with. They were a little bit expensive, but we'll get into the details in this video. So let me tell you something about trekking poles that I've learned from being on the trail. It's about a 50-50 split from what I have seen just anecdotally. Some people will not go hiking without them, and some people won't go hiking with them. I wanted to try them because it just seemed like an interesting product. These were expensive. They're about $200 per set. I was fortunate that I found a set for half that was already brand new on Facebook Marketplace. Be careful there, don't get scammed, but the guy was real. So for me, this was a $100 piece of equipment, and they were right on paper. Somebody bought them and just didn't like them, and so I used them. One of the cool features is they do collapse, which is super important for carrying them around, because you might only want to use them going downhill, you might only want to use them going uphill, but they do collapse. One of the things that is cool is you can see how easy they are to put together. This is how easy they are to take apart. There's just a little button, you push this down, and then the pole just kind of collapses like so. So they're real easy to get apart and to put back together, as simple as that. One of the bad things is they're not adjustable for heights, which one of the features of using them is most tents now you can use a trekking pole for, or you can use them for your tarp, which I do have a tarp. So for me, I carry the poles for those, for like the Ridgeline poles. So I thought that the difference between carrying these and if I got rid of those and just use these, that it would be pretty negligible, and it would. These together are 10 ounces for the set. I have 125 centimeter ones, and they are just slightly over 10 ounces. So it's about 5 ounce each pole. You know, so it only adds like 3 or 4 ounces to my kit if I take out the poles that I use for either my tarp, or I take out the pole that I use for my tent and just use these. And for that added feature, I thought it would be quite useful. But for me, I just found I don't like them. I just don't like using them. The only places I found them to be super duper helpful was like if it's super muddy and you're trying to work your way around muddy areas. It helps to be able to like kind of like balance while you're working along the edge of a trail. I could see using them in the snow. That would be quite helpful. I have not used them that way, but that might be an application where I would take them with me, which I do a lot of winter hiking, so I may use them for that. I could see there have been times when I've been on a trip where going downhill was quite difficult, like say I had stubbed a toe, or my toes were just getting flared up. I've gotten better about making sure that doesn't happen, but these would have been useful for kind of bracing myself going downhill. But I just don't think trekking poles are for me. I will say, if you do really like trekking poles, I have found these to be quite nice. The grips are good. They felt really solid. They don't bend very much, and they are very, very lightweight for trekking poles. I've set up my tents with them. I set up my tarp with them. I have a little extension thing for my, for one of my tents. I can't remember which one. It's my duplex. I think I set up my duplex with it, my Z-Packs duplex. And, I think I set up something else with it. I know I set up my tarp, but it worked well for both, just setting them up. I have this little extender thing that I put on this. So I didn't have a problem there. But if you like poles, you might like these. It's just kind of a 50-50 on whether you do like poles or you don't like poles. My recommendation would be if you could borrow a set of poles and try them on a few trips. I don't think it's going to take long to figure out if this is an item that you would really like to use or that you wouldn't like to use. But like I said, for me personally, having my hands free to grab drinks, to eat things, honestly just to look around, I found it distracting to move them through. But I've talked to a bunch of other hikers. I've talked to through hikers. I've talked to weekend hikers, lashers, and some people like that motion and it's really good for them. They would swear by using them. So I think it's really just down to individual use. I've read a bunch of articles on which one's better for your knees, and that's not conclusive either. There are people that swear that like saving coming down hills or going up hills, how much it helps the knees, but I've read other articles that have stated that you need to strengthen your knees by going up and down the hills. So I just don't know about any of that, other than for me, I didn't like carrying them, and I found that I just never used them. I would use them for a few miles, and then I'd put them away when I went and sat down and see if I was gonna, my mind wanted to reach out and grab again. And once I put them away, I just never used them again, for me personally. But these are, once again, the Black Diamonds Distance Carbon Z, about $200. They're about 5 ounce a pole. You can get them in all different sizes. They do collapse and they do collapse extremely easy, and they're very easy to use. So I do like them as a pole. I'm happy with the ones I selected. Just trekking poles, not for me. So that's my final wrap up. I will see you guys next video. Hey guys, if you like the video you just saw, please subscribe, click the bell so you can get alerted for any new videos that I may do, and check the links below for any information I described in the video. I'll try to put as much there as possible. Thanks for watching.